At 9 points, nobody wins, nobody loses.
Yeah.
So is a tie like kissing your sister? Now, if you happen to be on the side of the Texans in that ball game, you caught a miracle.
Yes.
And if you were already counting your money, you were standing in line at the window going, 2,000 on the Chiefs. You feel like a fucking asshole. Sportsbook managers looking at you go, we're giving everybody their money back who had it at 9. But the call was justified. So you take all of the risk out of that play if you're Andy Reid. If you had it at 8.5, you're feeling pretty good. Chiefs, are they vulnerable? Maybe. Or are they getting such favorable officiating?
Yes.
Lubie, that it's to the point where there should be some kind of an investigation launched. I don't know. Is this a Taylor Swift conspiracy type of thing? We'll probably hear more about that at the inauguration today when Trump goes into, you know what? I fucking had the Texans on the money line.
Exactly.
See, now that would maybe endear me to the idea that emboldened me that maybe the next 4 years wouldn't be so rough. I always liked it when Barack Obama was doing brackets, although he was a cock-eating motherfucker.
He was horrendous at it.
With all the favorites. Okay. Hey, Michelle, does this guy pick anything but favorites?
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Hey, scorecard here. Get your scorecard. Scorecard. Can't tell the players without a scorecard. Remember when that was like applicable? People actually bought into it. It was 10 cents. What was it? Was it 10 cents for a scorecard and 10 cents for the golf pencil that went along?
I have no idea.
That's where they were getting you, man, with those fucking golf pencils. Amazing. Good morning, everybody. Great to be with you. Jeff DeForest. We've got Mike Lubie Lubitz. Second day back. He's reacclimated. He's on the second day of a back-to-back doing a show after his 10-day journeys all over Spain. He was in Barcelona. He was in all kinds of different cities that we never even heard of. Having a great time, and now he's back doing this. So we welcome you guys to the show here another day. Also, where we're joined by the large crowd of subscribers to Bleacher Brothers and Bleacher Brothers YouTube channels, and then got people working on things and plugging in more and more subscribers. So things are taking off here for the Defo Show after like 11 years in a funk. It's been unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, nobody loves NBA transactions more than when Mike Lubie Lubitz. Well, what I love about NBA transactions, and we were talking about this from the standpoint with the Jimmy Butler deal, which I'm sure we'll get into in detail here with Lubie screaming and yelling and going. It really got to the point, too, where the fans were just thinking, good riddance to this stiff. I mean, this was a guy, I would have to say that when the Heat signed Jimmy Butler as kind of the final piece to put them into playoff the stature where you might even consider them championship material, I didn't really think it was enough. I didn't think Jimmy Butler was the kind of guy that was going to take a franchise to that next level riding his back. But you would have to say that results compared to whatever anticipation I had about this working out. I always thought they needed something else. Mm-hmm. But results, productivity to what the expectation might have realistically been when he was signed by the Heat, far exceeded by Jimmy Butler until this year when he became a crybaby and basically a Kyrie Irving type of asshole. And you didn't know where he was coming from. How did this happen, though? I mean, if anybody was the epitome of even being beyond Heat culture, I'm talking about Heat subculture here. It was the professed position of Jimmy Butler about working with a team. I mean, he left Minnesota. He was calling Karl Anthony Towns lazy. He didn't like the idea that these guys didn't want to work hard. How did he end up being the one in a funk? That's kind of an interesting aspect. And then the other great thing about NBA deals, and there were a zillion of them. I mean, this Rob Pelinka, is that really not Rob Lowe that you see? I mean, is it just an actor out on loan, as the song goes by the Doors? An actor out on loan, riders on the storm. As we saw any number of blockbuster deals. This was highly unusual, was it not, Mike Lubie Lubitz, including the one that finally extricated Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat's list of people that they no longer want to deal with. And I don't know, people are panning the return, but what were you going to do at that point, Lubie?
What do you mean? It's a fantastic return. The only people panning return are the haters. Like anyone who's followed this, they were supposed to get Middleton and a bunch of like draft picks. Like the Middleton, who doesn't play ever, and he doesn't contribute. Look, Middleton is going to get bought out, and they probably get Middleton for nothing. Like, only people saying that are haters. Like, and I won't finish my typing to Brian, who just hates to hate. He will be, if you do the math, he'll be 38 years old, making $60 million. Okay. The last 2 years, he hasn't played more than 60 games in a season. The last 2 playoffs, he was hampered by injury to the point where last playoffs, he didn't even play in the playoffs.
Well, and he had to go. I mean, he
wasn't even trying to play this year. Like, what does anyone get for that guy? Andrew Wiggins is a legit starter.
Good player.
When they won the title, 3 years ago, he was like their second best player on that title team. He's a guy that plays really good defense, can shoot the 3-ball, and now has been a part of a championship team. PJ Tucker, whatever you want to say about him, when he was here, that dude was the enforcer, the physical presence that they have a ton of young, soft bigs.
Right.
Like Bam, Ware, Jovic, all have a lot of talent, but they're soft. Like PJ, like people don't look at this trade for what it is. Like it was a dude that people were going to be happy if he just got picks for. You got 2 guys that can go right into your rotation, and then they're going to get, if the Warriors won't be a lottery pick, so the Warriors will be in that 15 to 20 range. The Heat fucking murder drafting in the 15 to 20 range. Like this trade will net you 3 guys that will be in your rotation for a player that was not playing at all, and 38 years old making 60 million. Like the dude's not playing now. I don't know. I don't
have any problem with them dumping Butler. Sorry to cut you off there. But
no, you're good. You're good. I just didn't think they'd get anything for like. I even came. You know me. I was when they're not going to trade him for nothing. I'd come over, just get fucking rid of him. Like
at that point, I mean, look. Supposedly, I don't know how realistic or valid these were because Kevin Durant didn't seem like he really wanted to leave Phoenix. He said he wasn't going to go to Golden State no matter what, even though Golden State had a big interest in him. The last game I saw with Andrew Wiggins, he was the leading scorer over Steph Curry in a Golden State Warriors victory. The Warriors happen to be a late-night catch quite frequently. I've seen a lot of Warriors games this year. I think Andrew Wiggins is probably more useful to the Heat than a totally disgruntled and alienated Jimmy Butler, who was going to do nothing more but continue to alienate what seems like a team that does buy into this whole Heat culture thing. I mean, when you look at the players on the Heat and the fact that they're 500 in spite of all of this drama that's gone on and the turmoil and the acrimony and the suspensions of Jimmy Butler, is he in, is he out? They've actually performed pretty well overall. And Andrew Wiggins, I think, clearly is a plus over what Jimmy Butler was going to give them the rest of the season and maybe the rest of his career because he had checked out on the Miami Heat. You know, when a woman checks out, Lubie, you've dealt with this. Now, hopefully it's just a clean break, as they say in a relationship game, just a clean break. She leaves and finds somebody else and never looks back. But there's always that lingering thing, and I don't know that this was healthy for Jimmy Butler to be lingering over the Miami Heat and part of their he really was that sulfur bomb in the middle of a chemistry lab at this stage. And look, will he help Golden State? Probably so. Will he resurrect his game to the level that we saw and people genuinely applauded? He was playoff Jimmy and provided a lot of good things and always provided a big spark in huge moments for the Miami Heat during the time that he was here. But time was up, Lubie. Well, what I love about the NBA, though, is the fact that supposedly Danny Ainge, a Utah Jazz GM or player personnel guy, whatever, he's running the show there. And he's running it into the ground, as a matter of fact. I mean, they may as well sign the Osmonds to be in their backcourt as if they were the Van Arsdales. But he was unaware that he was part. Is this possibly true, Lubie?
Oh, I don't know.
Because they picked up a stiff, and they picked up a couple of second-round draft picks, Utah, for being some small part of the Luka Doncic Anthony Davis trade. And supposedly, this was something I read online this morning. You never know whether to believe it or not. Danny Ainge was unaware that what he was doing was part of that deal. He just thought, okay, yeah, this sounds good. You give me this guy I never heard of and a couple of second-round picks, and I'll go ahead and absorb the contract so you guys can make whatever transaction you're doing. And then later on found out that he was part of one of the big blockbusters in NBA history. There was a lot of other stuff, though, Lubie, that went on yesterday. And we are going to have the trivia challenge for you trivia freaks out there. Dave Gurggles Gergely going to join us here on the program today. So we'll mix in a little fun. We're pre-Super Bowl, and I think we've done a decent job, Lubie, of controlling the overhyping of one football game. championship hanging in the balance notwithstanding, I mean, how many days can you spend just going, well, if Saquon can get beyond the line of scrimmage? We all know the dynamics of this game, do we not, Lubie? Is there anything that we could say about the Super Bowl game that would be of any kind of educational variety where we said something on the show? Maybe that's our job, is to come up with that, Lubie, no? Or do we just start making shit up where, I mean, what's not obvious? You have to find a way to decode Mahomes, or at least try to contain him from being the winning element in this game. Is Vic Fangio capable of doing that? You would think. The Philadelphia defense, do you change what you're doing specifically to try and accommodate the different things that Mahomes brings to the table, or can you even attempt to do that? Are you not just better off being yourself, right? It's interesting because I think it's a fairly even matchup and very difficult to gauge. You're always trying to figure out, was the NFC a farce? Was the AFC really the league to look at? And we don't know. It seemed like there was one more big time team in the AFC than there was in the NFC, right? NFC kind of boiled down to Detroit and Philadelphia this year. And the AFC, you had the Ravens in the mix, along with Buffalo and the Kansas City Chiefs. And everybody thought the Chiefs were suspect all season long, except somehow they find themselves in a championship game. Well, we'll touch on that later on in the program after we do the trivia challenge. But look at all the shit that went on yesterday in the NBA, Lubie. You had to love that. What was it? Did you have an orgasm just watching the news last night in SportsCenter?
I don't know what else happened. So you have to actually clue me in. I just sort of went numb after the Butler thing. Look, I've done a lot of ebbs and flows with this because I never saw getting here. The guy Butler had been for the Heat, even last year. It's just funny to me where people are like, well, if they got rid of him last year, he played 60 games last year. And he literally, right when he came back and looked like they were going to make a run, he got hurt and missed the entire play. I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking. Yes, you probably would have got more than Andrew Wiggins, but you weren't going to get fucking Kevin Durant. The whole Kevin Durant thing, I never had any faith in getting a real star for the dude. Again, he's already going back to the last two regular seasons. The finals run was amazing, but he still screwed around that year too. This is now 3 regular seasons in a row where he screwed around. Teams aren't going to pay a guy 38 years old, $60 million, even going back to last year, because he wanted to get to 38. Remember the Heat, he wanted to get to 39. But I guess he finally got rid of that third year. The pool for teams that wanted him were going to be small, even going back to last year. He's shown that he started last year doing some things like this, it was, and he's done this everywhere he goes.
It became aloof again.
I didn't think he'll get to this. I didn't think he'd get to aloof. I thought, look, you went, their run was fucking amazing. They
did well with him. They really did.
Went to 3 fucking.
I never thought they were a great team, even with Jimmy Butler.
No, they went to 3 conference finals in 4 years. They went to 2 NBA finals. The Laker finals, honestly, if Dragic and Bam aren't hurt, they probably win that finals.
They don't want a title, yes.
I mean, it was an amazing run, and it's just to go out. The Heat would have gotten rid of him. The Heat didn't want to pay him. They were okay helping, and he probably could have gone.
I don't blame him. It would have been. I think it would have been a tremendous mistake to have. I mean, look what's happening with Bradley Beal and the Phoenix Suns. The reason they weren't able to make any maneuvers is Beal wouldn't waive his no trade clause. He's locked in there with another $100 million for the next couple of years. Not a bad player, but you're paying a guy $50 million a year to be a 17-point a game scorer on a team that has 2 other guys that need the ball a lot. And they're hovering around 500 with the team that they have, even though they supposedly, I mean, did that constitute a so-called big 3, Lubie, when they got Bradley Beal? In a sense, but it might have been the wrong mix. It's always good if the big 3 includes Shaquille O'Neal in his prime. Then you only need a big 2, especially if the other guy is Kobe Bryant. But we'll see how it plays out. I don't think the Heat hurt themselves any by getting rid of Jimmy Butler. I think everybody would agree with that. And I thought Andrew Wiggins was a pretty good return for, especially, you're at literally the moment of truth. I mean, this was, I often reference this movie. It's an old movie, but I saw it a zillion times because it was always the filler in Rain Out Theater when I used to watch Yankee games on WPIX. It was the Carol Chessman story.
Mm-hmm.
I've referenced this. I think you're familiar with it, where they threw this poor asshole into the gas chamber 8 times.
Oh,
it was a black and white film, and really, I mean, old school. It looked like, the kind of technology they used when they were taping Dragnet episodes, right? I mean, you can almost see Jack Webb being a part of this thing. And it was always the same scene. They would drop the pellets in the gas chamber. The smoke would start rising from whatever source the gas was coming from. And then at the last second, the phone would ring. The warden was standing by there because they kind of liked Carol Chessman. They weren't sure if he was guilty or not. And the phone would ring, and the warden would go, "Whitey, get him out of there." And the old guard that looked like one of those guards that they used to give shotguns to at Calder Race Course or any racetrack. You ever notice that, Louis? You haven't been around enough racetracks. And I think the philosophies may have changed there because for some reason, whenever they were like making a run with that, with the cage, the box full of money, and it's being carted around. You see this in casinos, right, where they're rolling through with money. And at racetracks, for some reason, and maybe this was why track robbery was my favorite name of a horse, because you figured if you were ever going to rob a place that had a lot of money, a racetrack might be the easiest. Because they always had some guy named Pops. That was the security guy, and he had a shotgun that you figured there's no way they gave this old fart a loaded shotgun. But, it was, pretty weak from a security standpoint. But I think that the Heat, did all right under the last second, and they had zero leverage at that point. And of course, Jimmy Butler had already negated the idea that he wanted to go to Golden State in the first place, but they pacified him with a $111 million 2-year extension. Too rich for my blood. If I was Pat Riley,
I know. 120. From what I saw, 121 million. That's why he bumped up, because remember, next year was going to be like 52 million.
Could have been. Yeah, I don't know. I saw.
So they bumped it up to 60 million for next year, and then the year after, we wanted 60 million, and he got 60 million. So supposedly, 121 million.
This Rob Pelinka might be the luckiest guy on the planet. No. The professor was talking about this earlier this week when he was filling in very admirably for you, getting up early in the morning, and did a nice job for us. But if you look at it, the Lakers always end up getting the savior guy, don't they? Wilt, he goes to the Lakers, and he's the final piece of the puzzle. They start winning championships. Kareem, once out of Milwaukee, where does he want to go? Los Angeles. Of course, he played there at UCLA. They end up with Shaq when he leaves Orlando. Of course, they got Kobe in a trade, but we didn't know that Kobe was going to be Kobe at that point. And Pau Gasol, when they needed somebody to play in the middle, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Memphis says, "Yeah, we'll give you Pau Gasol for a bag of donuts, man. Make sure they're Winchells, the ones that the cops like." And then, of course, LeBron, and now Luka Doncic. So they end up getting Mark Williams. Are you familiar with Mark Williams of the Charlotte Hornets? A reasonably good young center.
I feel like I know the name.
Mark Williams, he averages like 15 a game. He's considered to be more of the prototype of what you're looking for today in a center. They had no big men. Anthony Davis was kind of crying, saying, "We have no depth. We need some big men here on this team." Now we're looking at the dynamic that was set up with Luka and LeBron, and you're thinking, geez, who's going to play defense inside the paint there? And they get this guy Mark Williams for a song. They send I guess Dalton Connect. I really liked a lot. I don't know how he was progressing as we got towards the middle of the season. He started out pretty hot for the Lakers. I thought he was a perfect guy. He's that 6'5" white guy that can shoot threes and create his own shot and do some other things as well. I really like Dalton Connect. Right, Tennessee is where he played last year. Dalton Connect.
Yes,
He's a hell of a college player. Yes. Cam Reddish, man, I didn't even know he was still in the league. Did you?
I really had high hopes for that guy.
He was like a third or fourth pick. He was a very high draft.
He was like a 10th pick on that Duke team where Zion and RJ Barrett were on.
I never was overwhelmingly impressed with his college game. He did show some signs of life as a pro at one point, but he's part of a deal, and then a couple of draft picks. But they end up getting the Lakers. Pelinka, my God, how much shit has fallen into this guy's lap? And so that turned out to be a blockbuster. And now the Lakers, who we were thinking, well, what are they doing? Are they just preparing for the future here? Maybe they know LeBron's going to retire at the end of this year. They know something that the rest of the public doesn't. But nonetheless, they find a piece here that makes them relevant again to go ahead and compete. I don't know about for a title, but certainly for maybe a little bit of a run into the postseason with the young center, Mark Williams, that they get from the Charlotte Hornets. Then you had a couple of others, which were sort of surprising. Your man, Chris Middleton, was traded close to straight up for Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma of the Wizards. So Middleton leaves the Bucks, goes to the Wizards. Kuzma, who was, of course, part of the Laker deal for Anthony Davis, back in the
Yes.
day, and he was a bright, young, coming star. At least so people thought. I think he distinguished himself pretty well with the Wizards. You don't know anything about him because the Wizards suck. And
Well, he
means
played
so much
well
about him.
there. He became like the guy that scores a lot of points on a shitty team there.
There you go, my kind of guy.
I was gonna say.
If I was an NBA player, that would be me. I would score a lot of points on a shitty team because I would feel that was a license to chuck. And not that I
Exactly.
needed one, but that would be it. But Kyle Kuzma, he turned into a pretty good NBA player, and that was a deal with the Raptors, was it not? Kyle Kuzma and
No, that's right.
yeah. Oh, no, that was Brandon Ingram. Goes to the
Oh,
Raptors.
Ingram. Oh, Ingram did move. Oh,
Ingram
God.
went, yeah.
I
Ingram
mean,
went to the
it is.
Raptors.
After the Butler stuff, I just went numb. I was just like,
It
thank
was
God.
Kuzma to Milwaukee for Middleton.
Yes, yeah. Kuzma went to Milwaukee.
And then Brandon Ingram gets traded from the Raptors or from the Pelicans to the Raptors for
That's
Bruce
weird.
Brown, your favorite player, Kelly Olynyk,
Oh God.
and a first and second round pick. So that was all in the transaction wire yesterday in the NBA. I mean, think about it. It would have been hard to make any kind of headlines after the Doncic Anthony Davis deal, which you could talk about for the rest of your life and probably not get to the bottom of exactly what happened. What I love about the NBA, though, that they always have to, like I mentioned with Danny Ainge and the Utah Jazz, who were again involved in something where they picked up some schleps. And it was very popular. We didn't see this time. It was very popular to try and pick up contracts that were expiring. And it got to the point where I think somebody actually picked up an option on Dwayne Shinsis. They're actually like trading for dead guys. Talk about dead money. May he rest in peace, right? Talk about an untimely death. But yeah, I think Shintz's name was also mentioned in some trade talks, and Danny Ainge might have gone out of his way to try and acquire the rights for his expiring contract, which might have had a few years left to run on it. Interesting day all the way around in the National Basketball Association. Bye Jimmy Butler. The fans really sort of came around to the point with his adversarial behavior this year, where I think it was like, don't let the door hit you in the fanny on the way out.
I feel bad because it was not only a great run, but he was a huge cog. He got a lot of help from randoms, as our friends like to say, but he was the guy, and he was playing in those runs as well as anyone in the league. But it just like this season was just it was just a disaster. Like the way he handled this, where he was just sitting out for no reason. He was not flying with the team. He was then playing games half-assed, just standing there. It was like
sulking player is not a good thing.
It was just weird, but yeah, but like we've seen James Harden, we've seen other guys do this, and they don't do it like that. Like he was making himself the center of attention for no reason. Like they would have worked with him. It would have been better for him and the Heat. It's just weird that it was weird that such a great run ended with such a thud.
Yeah, it always leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Well, when anybody in any job just doesn't put their efforts into it. I don't care if you're the guy that's sweeping the dust up in the street at a construction site. I mean, get into it. Do it. If you took the job, do it. You can't be sitting there saying, this job sucks. If you're going to do a show, do the show. That was always my approach, Lubie. No matter what. You could have just left a meeting with the sales manager and the program director where they reduced your psyche to feeling like you were no better than mouse shit. And then you would still have to, when the mic came on, your job was to entertain your audience, not to, pass along. And look, we used to joke about it, but the truth was, and it was the truth, that truth is always funnier than fiction. We couldn't make up the stuff that was going on behind the scenes at most radio stations. And yet, I mean, your job, if you took the job, you can't go in and go, well, I'm not going to talk today because, I don't feel good about the way that I'm being treated.
Always got to do your best.
Always got to do your best. You never know what the hell is going to happen. But, I mean, if you take the job, and especially if you're taking monumental, massive, unfathomable amounts of money, I think about it. Jimmy Butler is making $50 million this year. I don't know what he does with all of his capital, but it doesn't matter how well or how poorly he performs. He's going to get $60 million next year.
Yes.
I could live like that, Lubie, couldn't you? I mean, I could have and endure any number of losing days at the track.
Well, that's
knowing that I only had to sit out another 11 months and I was going to get another $60 million replenishment there in my bank account.
That's what was like. He's getting like 49 or 50 this year. He was going to get like 52 to 53 next year. And they were open to giving him another year. They didn't want to give him 2 more years, but what he got from the Warriors is what he were willing to do if he just fucking played the basketball. That's what's weird about this whole thing is that they weren't asking him to change. They accepted that he was going to be sort of a
What was his beef? I mean, was Spoelstra just too much of a hard ass for him? That openly defies everything that this guy, the reasons that he came to the Heat in the first place were because, these are guys that do it right, Heat culture. Meat
He
tart.
wanted to pay. He wanted to know they were going to pay him, and the fact that they were so obstinate. A lot of people say, "Well, they didn't get him help. If they got him, they tried to get him help." I don't think he gave a shit. Like in the end, it came down to the money, and he wanted that one. I guess I thought he wanted 2 more years, but he wanted that 1 more year, and he weren't going to just give it to him. They wanted him to earn it, and I think he realizes he can't earn it at this point. Like that's what. I'm curious to see what the Warriors get out of him. Like I really am. I mean, maybe he'll give you a week or two. Where he looks like Butler, but there's a reason that he did that this year. There's a reason instead of just playing basketball, because that's all they wanted. Like, dude, if you just play games, we'll keep you. We're not even, and we'll pay you. Like, we want you here. We want it to end strong, and we believe. Look at the young guy. Look at Ware. Like the dude was a rookie that no one really knew. He's playing. Last night he didn't score anything. He still had he had like 18 rebounds or something. Like they're getting a lot from the younger dudes. Heroes blossomed. Like. There's room to get more pieces. Just play. Like they're the 16.
And you almost have like a hockey team's chemistry when you see the way that the guys on the bench are involved in the game and the way that they kind of celebrate each other. I mean, you see this on other teams as well, but the Heat not exactly lighting it up this year at 500. They did beat Philadelphia last night, but you sense that there is this camaraderie there that, Spoelstra hasn't lost it. And I can't imagine that he was so much. I mean, with his philosophical approach to virtually every answer to every question that he's asked, I mean, is it not Riley Jr. when you listen to Eric Spoelstra speak about the game?
Yes.
It's so great. I mean, between Winderman and Spoelstra, Winderman's questions and Spoelstra's answers at these press conferences, post-game press conferences, which normally you don't even want to. Come on, just say 2 things, Coach, that I can write down real quick here. And if you're writing, which nobody does anymore, but whatever it is, you get your clips and you want to get the fuck out of here, right? And it's almost like listening to Plato and Aristotle talking to each other when Winderman starts firing these questions that are so existential, and then Spoelstra fires back a Riley-like answer. So you didn't sense that there was any discord among Heat players, and. I think they did okay to get back Andrew Wiggins in this deal. Not the worst possible result because essentially they were losing a commodity that was completely worthless to them anymore. Right?
Yes. Well, yeah, he wasn't. That's the thing. It's not even that he wasn't playing. He was like hovering around the organization and just dragging them down. A lot of these games they would have won that he was involved in. And you could see like when he's out there, Bam and Hero don't know what the fuck to do. So they actually respect him. Players were saying it. Look, if they didn't move him, we'd welcome him back. Like they loved Butler. Like they took to him and really followed his lead. And he just it feels like he let everyone down. I just don't, it didn't make any sense. Look, they're the 6th seed now. They're the 6th seed now with all this shit. Like there's no reason they couldn't be where the Knicks are at the 3 or at least the 4. Like, it's just
if Butler had exceeded what he did the last couple of years and just continued to
play,
become a better and better player and more valuable to the team as he got older, you're using his smarts or whatever. I mean, the guy is a very clever player and maybe gets away with a bunch of traveling also, but nonetheless, he goes to the line a ton, which is something that Golden State is not very good at since they chuck a lot of threes up there. So we'll see how it works out. All right, we want to get into the trivia challenge. You trivia guys, we missed it last week, and we wanted to make sure that we covered all of our bases and gave you trivia players a chance to show how amazingly intelligent this audience is. And what better way to measure a person's intelligence than to introduce them to Dave Gurggles Gergely, who joins us here to conduct the trivia challenge. David, how are you, my friend?
Doing fine. I'm more interested in Jerry Butler hosting the oldies on WLRN. But
I would imagine we haven't talked for a couple of weeks. Any exploits out there at the racetrack? Were you all over White Barrio and the Pegasus?
No, nothing. I think. Well, the interesting thing is that day we got beat a neck in the second leg, and we had 4 out of 5 in what they call the coast to coast, which is 3 races at Gulfstream and 2 at Santa Anita.
Okay.
And we had 4 out of 5 got beat a neck, and it paid $19,000, but they don't pay 4 out of 5.
Doesn't
matter. Hey. It
If
is
it
what it
wasn't
is.
rain, it wouldn't be fun.
I'm gearing up for Keeneland. It'll be a little over 2 months. Still, I'll be there.
Oh, really? You're not going to hit the track for 2 months, getting ready for
Oh, I
the?
didn't say that. I mean, I'm going to Keeneland in 2 months.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
Oh, very good.
But April 16th, we got a 5-bedroom farmhouse on 140 acres, about 15 miles from Keeneland, and it'll be 5 of us just ready to enjoy ourselves. You're the one who recommended it to me. I've never been
Oh,
there. So
you're going to love it.
I'm
You will
looking forward
absolutely.
to it.
I don't know how many days you're going to be there for. What it's
4
usually
days, plenty.
Thursday through Sunday, that kind of thing. You're bound to catch at least one of those beautiful spring days, if not all 4 of them. When the weather is not, particularly conducive to being outside and enjoying yourself, it's not the most pleasant place to be. But
That's all right.
when it's nice, I mean, it's unbelievable. You'll think that you literally are standing there getting ready to meet your maker. That this was literally the stairway to heaven when you're staring out there over the farms and the backdrop there. It's just fantastic, and you'll love the vibe. My suggestion would be this, and a lot of people don't do this, but and I'm not sure that they're welcoming to the general public. But put some mud on your shoes as you walk in, and you can walk in from a parking lot that is actually it has you walk through the backside stables to get into the track, and it's a legitimate entrance to the track. But if you're going to be having breakfast, stop at the track kitchen there, where all of the exercise riders and the grooms and everybody that they're all eating there, and now you have to utter a couple of words of Spanish. You might have to get with Lubie before you go out there.
Ningún problema para mí.
Best place to eat in Lexington, the Track Kitchen at Keeneland. So stop in there. I think I was kind of getting the fisheye. Like you look too big to be a jockey. I haven't seen your name on the trainer standings. But they went ahead and accommodated us as we rolled in there. Fantastic. Get the egg sandwich with ham and cheese. All right. We're going to come back with the trivia challenge here in just a moment. You can dial us up 954-4170. Oh, you want to get into a player right away, Lubie? What do you think? Just
we can
stimulate the audience to what they can anticipate. A lot of people have never seen the trivia challenge here before with Dave Gurggles Gergely. So
whatever you guys want to do, I'm good.
let's play one, and then we'll get into our break, and then we'll come back and finish off the game. 954-417-0070. This is production on the fly. 954-417-0070. If you'd like to play the game, everybody's welcome to play, and we always welcome new blood into the contest here. So dial us up, and we'll get into it. And here's how it works. Dave's going to toss out a question, and then you jump in there on the phone lines, and boom, you're ready to go. So, Dave, in the traditional fashion, in honor of the Polyman, our esteemed colleague for many, many years, the Polyman, who we hope to bring back to this thing someday. I'm probably a week or so away. The Polyman, legendary broadcaster here in South Florida, and we enjoyed, about 25 years every Saturday?
Yes.
On the radio, various radio stations. I think we did go from left to right across the radio dial. So in honor of the Polyman, we're going to start the game out. Dave Gurggles Gergely and some
easy baseball. This New York Yankee player, on the difficulty of traveling by air for one of his teammates, replied, "We got a problem here. Louis Tiant wants to use the bathroom, and it says no foreign objects in the toilets." Craig Nettles, Craig T. Nelson, Nelson Eddy, or Eddie Delahousie?
All right, Louie, roll a random phone scrambler to pick our first player. Wow, look at that. Very nice. Starting out with Lenny the Chronic. Lenny, you're on the Trivia Challenge. Good morning, sir.
Hello, fellas.
Good morning.
How are you?
Morning, Chronic.
Good morning, guys.
All right.
Gurggles, you're back tonight. You good luck.
Yeah, Mike, you got to be back, man. They murdered it last week when I was there.
Ken said they ruined the field.
This is Louie's live trivia competition at Landlubbers, where we're giving away a gift certificate, by the way, by for the winner of the contest today. All right, you have 1 point, Lenny. You're going for 2.
All right, Lenny, Super Bowl coming up. This true or false question. In 1970, this was the first time a singer performed at halftime, and it was Diana Ross. True or false?
That's false.
I'm going to say true.
No, it's false. It
False?
was Carol Channing, of all people.
Oh, wow.
Carol Channing.
Hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly.
Did her lips move at all? I mean, she just kind of had that, hello, Dolly. All right, very good. One of my dad's favorites, though, Carol Channing. You love Carol Channing on Broadway. So you have 2 going for 5 here, Lenny, and still alive for the sweep.
All right, NBA, which I think is trying to steal a little thunder from the Super Bowl because football played on Christmas Day. But anyway, in 1975, the Lakers traded Junior Bridgman, Elmore Smith, Dave Myers, and Brian Winters to the Milwaukee Bucks for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and
Ooh, that's a good one.
Bobby Dandridge, Johnny Green, Maurice Goodson, or Walt Wesley.
Oh God, I don't know.
Can you pick those guys?
Yeah, Bobby Dandridge, Johnny Green, Maurice Goodson, or Walt Wesley.
Or Dwayne Shinsis.
Walt Wesley.
Wesley. That's what I was going to say. Wow.
Wow, good for you.
I was hoping you'd say Maurice Goodson. He played Doberman on Sergeant Bilko.
I never heard of him. That's why I didn't pick him.
All right, I got one for you, Gurggles.
Okay.
When the New York Knicks acquired Dave DeBusschere, they traded, of course, Walt Bell's Bellamy and whom
Ah, that one.
Was it Howard Comives?
You got it. Of course, you would know Butch Comives. How much? I mean, we've paid more homage to Butch Comives on this show, even asking Jim Larinaga about him during interviews. Than any other program, I would imagine. That's quite a distinction for our program. All right, you have 5 going for the sweep here. 5-point question for Lenny the Chronic to start us off.
Uh-oh.
All right, Lenny.
ABA?
No. The ABA one I have is too easy. One of the biggest bets in the Super Bowl is over/under for the national anthem. In the history of this bet, which performer had the longest national anthem performance? 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
I think I have it.
Was it Kelly Clarkson, Alicia Keys, Carrie Underwood, or Whitney Houston?
Wow. I thought it was Gladys Knight.
I'm going to go with, geez.
Who?
I thought it was somebody else. Can you say the names again? I was
Sure.
thinking of another person.
Kelly Clarkson, Alicia Keys, Carrie Underwood, or Whitney Houston?
Go with Alicia Keys.
Had to be Keys.
It was Keys.
It was.
Yes.
The fucking
Yeah,
piano.
the average is 1 minute and 50 seconds, so you went way over.
Yeah, she did the goddamn piano.
You know how the deal goes. I mean, and with in-game betting and instantaneous betting that you can take up any time, as soon as you see the anthem singer come out, you should hold off to the last second to make your over-under bet. And if you see any kind of musical accompaniment, a guitar player, somebody with a violin, a cello, and especially Alicia Keys sitting at a piano, that's why I thought, wasn't it Gladys Knight that came out there in like some fur coat and went on for 4 or 5 minutes?
I think she had the record before Keys.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Keys came out with like a fucking piano, and I was like, oh, fuck.
I mean, the epitome of greatness there. Lenny opens up with a sweep, so he's earned himself a spot in the finals, unless somehow we have more than one or more than 2 sweepers here. So you can dial us up if you want to get on board, 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. Quick word about Perdomo Cigars here, Dave Gurggles.
Yeah. This weekend, perfect time to enjoy the big game, I guess you're supposed to say, with a box.
I think you can say
cigars,
Super Bowl.
Bring them for everybody at your party. You can go outside and celebrate after the Eagles beat the Chiefs, or commiserate, either way. But Perdomo Cigars, easy to find, right in the neighborhood here, 5150 Northwest 167th Street on the Palmetto on the south side, a little bit east of the Home Depot, and they're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I went in there this week. It's a big stop for a lot of motorcycle policemen on their break, so you can go in there and say hello to the officers who we respect, who do that kind of job, and you don't have to be a police officer to be treated special at Perdomo's. 305-627-6700, only Monday through Friday. So this weekend, you say, geez, I forgot to go. Not a problem. Go to any tobacconist near you and pick up a box and a sampler pack of Perdomo cigars. Not sure where to find them? www.pergomocigars.com to find them. And this weekend, if you're making that prop bet, over 1/2 interception for Patrick Mahomes, put something great in your mouth with a Perdomo cigar.
Gurggles predicting a Philly pick. All right, we're going to come back, continue the game. Once again, the phone number 954-417-0070. If you want to get in on the action, Lenny setting a torrid pace. You can't do any better than to open up with a sweep. We'll be back with the trivia challenge. Dave Gurggles Gergely, Michael Lubie Lubitz, and me in a moment. Now that
The time.
it's 8:40. Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar, and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage.
All right. Welcome back to the show. I think we lost the sound there for a second here, but hopefully we're still around. We got Dave Gurggles Gergely and Mike Lubie Lubitz stuck in a little bit of a bizarre mode here.
Oh, solo volante will be coming late. Oh, solo volante. The Belmont's now 1 mile and an 8. The finish line is coming up quick. Luca Panici just switched the stick.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
All right, welcome back to the show.
You started talking. Why would you just start talking? I'm like, I'm going to have the Polyman thing in a second.
Great comment. I couldn't find the Polyman. I think you're in the majority there.
Yeah, I mean, I was just put this up there. We can't find them either, man.
Over here. I always have it. I always have something ready.
I mean, even if you threw a fishing line out there with a wad of cash attached to the hook, it's still hard to find a Polyman these days.
Well, we've done that several times.
Yeah, they got my bait again. All right, we're going to continue the game here. We got Lenny with a sweeper, and we're going to play as many as we can before we hit the wire. So dial us up, 954-417-0070. Dave Gurggles Gergely, our next set of questions.
Football. This late-night host on the impact of the Super Bowl once said, I appreciate the Super Bowl for uniting all Americans in our inability to read Roman numerals. What's that? Jay Leno, Jay Johnstone, Charles J, or Jay and the Americans?
I remember when they went to the metric system. That always reminds me of that in baseball. Man, look at that thing. Shot out there. Bonds has put one 106 meters over the wall. Okay, so how far is it? Here's the scrambler, and it lands on Mike. Mike, you're up next on the Trivia Challenge. Good morning, sir.
Hey, welcome back, Lubie, eh?
A is correct. Very good.
All right, Mike, football, true or false? Believe it or not, Saquon Barkley, in all his years in the league, when he plays the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, this will be the first time he ever faced them, and that's the only team he's never played against. True or false?
True.
True, he says. Yes,
that is true.
Very good.
Never played them.
Never played the Chiefs before, so we'll see how he.
I'm trying to get 2 more sweepers, and we can throw Lenny out on the wheel.
That'd be great. He sweeps and so does it make it.
Random scrambler boots him out of the system.
3-point question.
Well, we don't know that Lenny's not a robot after he scored a 10 also, so we'll have to check into that.
Well, it's certainly not artificial intelligence, I'll tell you that.
And I think Jonte Porter has money on this game also.
Exactly.
There you go.
All right, 3-pointer. This AFC team is the only one to shut out not 1, but 2 opponents in the AFC title game. Who was that? Denver, Oakland, Miami, or Pittsburgh?
Denver.
Denver, he says. I'm going
It
to go
was
Pittsburgh.
your Miami Dolphins. They shut out the Colts in
Miami has
81-82 and the Jets in 71-72.
Oh wow!
Dolphins making a lot of offseason headlines too, huh? I mean, nothing. Zero.
I was gonna say, I'm like, what did I miss? I haven't heard shit.
The Grand Prix is making more noise than the Dolphins, and it hasn't happened yet. All right, going for
Yes,
7
this
points.
is 7.
Second place.
You going for 7. All right, back to the Super Bowl. When Joe Namath and the Jets defeated the Colts right down here in South Florida in Super Bowl III, what was the final betting line? Colts by 13, Colts by 19.5, Colts by 17.5, or Colts by 16?
Oh jeez.
17.5.
17 and a hook was it?
A little
No,
higher. It was 19.5.
really? That came one up.
Yep.
19 and a half.
Oh,
I remember it being 17 and a half.
19.5.
I think even Lipschitz had it at 18 and a half.
Well, you
And
could
you
have
know that
lived
he
it.
never
It was
gives you a
19 and
favorable
half.
count. Yeah, I mean, Louis to Lipschitz, get out of here already. All right, Mike gets destroyed there, ends up with 2 points, which is not what we consider a qualifying total for the finals. However, we're always having to find loopholes in the rules to this game, so it's possible that he could make his way there. We're hoping somebody scores enough points to legitimize the actual and protect the Constitution that we established with this game.
Now, while we're waiting for another player, when you went to Keelan, were you in a separate like dining room every day, or did you go in seats or the simulcast? How did you handle it?
Well, we were very lucky, of course. We were there under the auspices of being part of an entourage that included one Mike Nyman,
Ah,
who
okay.
held a position of stature, and of course knew all of the other people, executives at different racetracks. So we were in. I mean, you can't get a better situation than to be in the so-called green room there, which is nice. I mean, it couldn't be a better setup. You can leave your stuff on a table. They offer free food, drinks you're paying for, but I mean, it's fine because the setup is just so good because you can go anywhere that you want on the ground.
Gotcha.
And then if you want to go outside to watch the races, you're actually in a really good spot by the finish line. It couldn't be any nicer. So if somehow you can wrangle through your various connections a pass into the green room, you'll find Todd Schrupp at the buffet shoveling food in his mouth. And I don't recommend getting adventurous and trying the burgoo, which I thought.
No.
I don't know. Lubie, would you ever try burgoo if
You know I would.
it's on
I
the
tried
menu every day, and then you're thinking somebody ran over a fucking beaver in the parking lot? Get out of here. All right, we're ready for our next set of questions. Here's Dave Gurggles Gergely.
Hockey. This former sports writer on Watching Sports said, hockey's the only place where a guy can go nowadays and watch two white guys fight. What's that? Frank DeFord, Frank Fort, Henry Ford, or Ford Frick?
Sounds like our man Bert Sugar would have said something like that. All right, the Scrambler lands on, and we're always happy about this because it's further proof that he lives on, and that is Andy. You're on a trivia challenge. Hello, Andy.
Hey, I'll go with Frank DeFord.
Good
That's
job.
letter A, I believe.
A is the correct answer. You're on the board with 1 point.
Good job, sir.
All right, Andy, back to the Super Bowl. Believe it or not, Jalen Hurts is the first Oklahoma quarterback to ever play in a Super Bowl. True or false?
That's true.
That's false.
False. Didn't Aikman?
Oh, that's true.
No, that's true. Aikman,
Did it
I guess
Aikman
you're
played
not
at
Aikman
start out in Oklahoma?
He
Yeah,
transferred-
Aikman did. Troy Aikman.
Like,
So,
it started Oklahoma and then transferred to UCLA.
Then he went to UCLA. Yeah. All right. We'll give you that one.
Give it to him. That's
We're
fair.
going to give it to you on very debatable circumstances.
It was debatable.
Hey, Gurggles, did
Yeah.
Panici move to Santa Anita?
What's that?
He wants to know if Luca Panici moved to Santa Anita.
Dimitri.
I heard something about Santa Anita. I didn't hear the rest.
Did Luca Panici move his tank to Santa Anita?
No, he rode yesterday at Gulfstream.
Oh, because I kept reading headlines that Luca went to L.A.
Oh, good one. Good
That
one.
was my first thought. I mean, I was right there with Andy when he texted me that. I go, really? When did he leave? All right. So we're giving you 2, going for 5.
All right, boxing.
All right.
On this day in 1967, Muhammad Ali won the WBA belt in 15 rounds over
Ooh.
Ernie Shaver, Ernie Terrell, Zora Foley, or Sonny Liston?
Ernie Terrell.
Terrell. Correct.
That's right.
Ah, wow. Alive for the sweep. And
this
there
would
is
be
a
wonderful,
possibility
Andy, man. Come on,
a
Andy,
dream
man.
situation could occur.
Bring this. This would be so wonderful.
A bump sweep route. Yeah.
This would be so
All
wonderful.
right, 5-pointer. NBA in 2024, the Lakers traded Shaq to the Miami Heat for 3 players. Which of the following was not part of that trade? Caron Butler, Brian Grant, Lamar Odom, or Rasheed Butler?
That's easy. Come on, Andy, man.
Rasheed Butler.
Yeah, he was
Had
not a
to be,
player.
yeah.
Not at all.
There it is.
Nice.
That's it.
Sweep.
Did you purposely throw him a gimme there on the 5-point?
No,
Yeah,
no, I didn't know
remember
he'd get that
entire
one.
trade. We all remember that entire trade.
Everybody knew it like right away. I mean,
An
you didn't
entire
have
trade.
choices, I don't think. Well, you had to on that question.
Well, hang around, Andy, man. You're
All right, Andy. So you have 10. Lenny has 10. And if we can get another sweeper in here, it would be remarkable. It would also, I think, at least tie the record. And that was back in the day when we had a 2-hour deal on this, and we used to play like 8-10 guys. And I don't know that we ever had 3 sweepers on the same day. Did we, Gurggles? Is it possible?
I don't remember that.
All right. So that's on the table right now, just like Jimmy Butler was yesterday for Golden State to snatch up. You can dial us up 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. Lenny with 10 points, open up the scoring. After Mike took a beating, we had Andy score 10, and we're ready for our next set of questions.
Okay. Here we go. We got, all right, hockey. This 80s and 90s hockey player, on learning that he was voted the NHL's Player of the Week, said, what the hell happened? Was Wayne Gretzky sick? Was it Larry Robinson, Flynn Robinson, Edward G. Robinson, or Smokey Robinson?
All right, roll it, Lubie. The random phone scrambler to select our next player. Lubie live tonight at Landlubbers with outstanding live trivia competition. Chronics crushed it last week. We have Pat. Speaking of Chronics, Pat, you're on the trivia challenge. Hello.
Good morning, guys. A
is correct. Nice job, Pat.
This
Everybody
is the famous
rolled in well.
Pat Fox. And I saw him in a commercial doing one of those leg lifter things.
No, get out of here.
No way,
really?
Oh, no, where's
That thing that you just put your feet on and you're like curling your toes?
Pat was on it. And he said,
Can
I
that
feel
possibly
great.
solve my arthritic knees? I mean, it's not possible, is it? I'm going to get one for Dr. Jerry. He was playing like a cripple last night on the
leg
tennis court.
exercise.
Yeah. You think that works, Gurggles? I mean, Popeil wouldn't even try to pull that off on
It
you.
works for the guy selling it. I'll tell you that.
Fox stands by his ads.
I'd rather have a pocket fisherman, I think. All right. You have what?
One going for 2.
This is 2.
All right, Pat, WNBA, true or false? Believe it or not, 2 WNBA players have interesting off-season gigs. One does stand-up comedy. The other has a gaming website. True or false?
gaming website. I'll say false.
Got to be false.
I would say true.
No, that's true.
It's true.
Yep.
The WNBA would be
WNBA players. 2 girls. One does stand-up. The other has a gaming website. I forget their names right away.
All right.
He doesn't even know the names of the players.
The stand-up comedy, I think I've seen something on that. I don't know. Unless you made that up, Gurggles, and I'm just looking like an even bigger fool. And you're putting over the audience here. All right, 2 for 2, going for 5. Alive for the sweep.
No, he said he got it wrong.
He missed it. Okay.
We're trying to get him through, but he was
Why
wrong.
are we even continuing? No,
He ends up with 9. We could give him that one, though.
Yeah,
Here we go.
another debatable question.
Super Bowl, Pat. 2 teams ended the big game with only a field goal scored. The LA Rams in Super Bowl 53 and who? The Broncos, the Vikings, the Dolphins, or the Bengals?
Bengals, he says.
No, it was the Dolphins in Super Bowl 6. Dallas beat them 21 or 24-3.
Shula never got over that either. That in Super Bowl 3. All right, 5-point question. See if you can get this right. This is just to dignify the entire session here.
All right, Pat. Which player threw the Philly special pass for a touchdown in Super Bowl 52? Nick Foles, Corey Clement, Trey Burton, or Torrey Smith?
Oh, God, then I don't know.
Clements.
Clements. As
No,
in Roger. No.
It was Trey Burton threw it to Nick Foles.
Oh, the former Gator quarterback. All right.
All right, that's going to set it up for Lenny and Andy to go head-to-head here. The two sweepers on the program going to square off for the championship. That round is coming up in just a sec. Dave Gurggles Gergely, always a proponent of what has to be one of the fine business stories in South Florida history, and that is Nick Perdomo Cigars, been around forever. Still never forget. I can actually envision when I met Nick on that flight, that red-eye out of Las Vegas, he had gone to some cigar convention, was really just getting rolling. I mean, he was already prominent, but not to the level of success that he would eventually go on to achieve. And couldn't have been a more affable guy. I mean, and then he gave me that look as he was rolling to his...
In Shula's. He was there all the time. I met him, talked to him a little bit. He actually, believe it or not, they could use him now, was an air traffic controller.
Yes.
And left that business to carry on his family's tradition of making Perdomo cigars and make them perfect one at a time. It's Cuban seed tobacco grown in Nicaragua. He's third generation. Nick Jr.'s fourth generation is working with him right now. And they are very reasonable, but also very good for the price. 5150 Northwest 167th Street. Bruce is the concierge there, a retired police sergeant and a big cigar aficionado, and he's very expert in helping you select the cigars. Maybe you're a young lady who wants to buy a Perdomo cigars for Valentine's Day for the love of your life. Why not go to Perdomo Cigar and get a gift certificate if you're not sure what to buy cigar-wise? 305-627-6700, the number to call. PerdomoCigars.com, the website to visit. So when the Eagles win 31-27 this Sunday, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigar.
Never forget, too, Nick goes towards the back of the plane, towards his seat. I'm sitting in the front row thinking I've got extra leg room, and then it turned out I had the middle seat between two sumo wrestlers on the red-eye back from Las Vegas. You're like, what the fuck? Are you guys with Siegfried and Roy or something? Where did you circus guys come from? All right, ready for the finals here, and this should be a beauty. Lenny and Andy, a couple of powerhouse players here on the show over the years. Gurggles is going to fire up a question. Call out your name if you want to answer right away. Nobody answers right away. We'll offer multiple choice. The first person to call out his name gets first choice. We go back and forth till we have a winner for the championship of this week's edition of the Trivia Challenge. Here's Dave.
Good luck to one of you guys. All right, anyway, Super Bowl. What is Sarah Thomas's Super Bowl claim to fame? Sarah Thomas.
Oh, God.
All right, here's multiple choice.
Was she, or is she, the halftime producer for the past 26 halftime shows? B, the first female camera operator to work a Super Bowl?
Jesus.
C, for the past 7 years, she is the sign translator for the national anthem? Or D, she was the first female referee to work a Super Bowl?
Lenny. Andy.
Lenny
was first.
He's the first. Lenny, she's the first official.
Yeah.
That's got to be right.
2021, first female referee.
The other choices were far more interesting, but
yeah, I thought so too.
Well done.
These
All right,
guys are
the Chronic sweeps the board. Good thing Sufreen sold the business, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
He'd be tearing his hair out.
He got out.
That's one of the reasons he did it.
Oh, my God. Lenny's probably going to end up throwing like his grandson's bar mitzvah there or something.
I think what we need to do, instead of $25, let's offer him $30 at any participating lums.
There you go. There you go. Remember the guy from Atlantic City Subs?
Yes.
The son of
it's
the
the water.
Man who
the
started Lums, yeah. All right, Gurggles, excellent. Thanks so much. Anything coming up? Any of your golf events or any?
No, I've got the Tennessee guys here in the hotel for their 40th year, but I got them starting times right up the road at Country Club Miami. But our place is going terrific.
Okay.
We finished part of the greens on the front nine. It's unbelievable out here what they're doing. But in the meantime, enjoy the big game, everybody, and go Birds. And remember, as the mayor of Philadelphia would say, EGSLES, Eagles.
All right, Gurgs, we love you. Thank you.
All right, Gurgs, thanks. Excellent job. Dave Gurggles Gergely. All right, that was it. I mean, if you hadn't seen the Trivia Challenge before, that was a little taste of it right there. And congratulations to Lenny the Chronic for coming through. I mean, it was well-deserved, right? Because you knew that woman was the official. I was waiting for Gurggles to reveal that as one of the choices.
Especially if that was a choice. Like,
yeah.
It was like, it's going to be a fucking official.
Yeah, and if it wasn't one of the choices, then we would have had to question that one as well, because Troy Aikman, you would have to say, I mean, we would qualify as an Oklahoma quarterback who played in the Super Bowl, no?
I don't know. Look,
technically, that wasn't his last school that he played at.
Yeah.
it would be even less applicable today, where guys play for 6 different schools in the 7 years that they attend college.
That's the thing. Like with the portal, we usually go with the like Cam Ward's going to be remembered as a quarterback, right? He's going to be remembered as Washington State. So the same thing with Jordan Travis, played at Louisville for a couple years. No one remembers him at Louisville. So I get what Gurgs was going for there. We remember Aikman as the number 1 pick out of UCLA, but he did play at Oklahoma. And as trivia goes, it's a gray area that, you sort of have to give him it.
No, yesterday we got involved with whatever, but you didn't have time to pay tribute to your favorite coach, who's announced that he's leaving Florida State after the season.
Yes, I'm excited.
Coach Leonard Hamilton. I didn't know if you had any kind of flattering remarks you wanted to make about
he was a great
there.
He's a great interview, a horrendous coach. Like he stayed so long that he put a lot of wins together, but he was there for I think he got there when I was like a junior in college.
21 or 2 years.
I was a junior in college when he got there. I've been out of college over 20
wow.
It'll be 20 years.
I want to say 22 years. That's what I'm going to put on.
He's there 22 years. He made a handful of tournaments. It's amazing that he got that much wins for as little success as he had. They had a nice 5-year run, and then I think they made another tournament or 2. But he was there a long time and didn't make a lot of tournaments. So I don't have a lot of success. And the one team that probably would have won it all got fucked by COVID. But yeah, I mean, he's a really good dude, a really fun interview, and he's a horrendous coach. So I'm really happy that it's fucking over.
Remember when I sicked you after him at that radio room in Houston when we were at the Final Four for one time?
They was in the middle of them sucking before they had their 4 or 5 year run.
I was telling a story when this word came out. Professor was on with me, and you actually just flat out, like Jimmy Butler, refused to take the court.
I told you no. I never said
no.
Talk
to him. I hate him. And he sat down. He couldn't have been any more engaging. We talked to him for like half an hour. He went back over all of the angst that he had whenever the ball was posted into Constantine Popa.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and I'm telling Constantine Popa that he ought to demand that they always repost.
Be like Duncan or
I would say he was the player I talked to the most of any of the players while traveling with the team that time, during that time. And he was a good guy. I mean, it wasn't exactly Kareem with the sky hook though, but it was unusual. I mean, he had like Tom Burleson type of size, freak size for even that day of basketball. What was he, like 7'4"? I mean,
he was a big dude.
Yeah, he was one tall motherfucker. All right, with that, fitting tribute, Lubie. Way to go, man. You trashed the guy on his way out the door.
It was a really good interview. I enjoyed talking to him.
Sorry I brought it up. He came on our show with Leslie that one time. He was brilliant. Right?
He did. He was a great interview. He won a lot of games at FSU. He's like a top 10 ACC some shit. But if you look at the actual seasons, I think he had like 5 good seasons in 22 years. Like it was a fucking joke.
He wasn't the most effervescent after the just long string of losses that I had to do the post-game show with Leonard Hamilton. Sonny Hirsch would duck inside to get a hot dog and say, "Okay, you handle the post-game, kid."
Exactly.
With
Hamilton.
He used to throw me Fern Labonte at halftime. I had to do that. Well, Fern, the girls are looking pretty good. All right. Hey, man, the things you have to do in life to get to this point, and then hope that it works out, even subsequent to this. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, Dave Gurggles Gergely, I'm Jeff DeForest. See you next time on the next edition of the Defo Show. As we leave you now that.
The time.
It's 9:04.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my show.